Hey everyone. Tonight is Saturday, October 19th, and the election is pretty much here. It's time to get out to the polls and make your voices heard. The election is just about 2 weeks away, and early voting here in Texas starts on Monday. So let's all start making plans to get out to the polls and start looking into the issues, deciding who we're going to vote for in this election. This is a huge election that is going to be extremely consequential, and a lot of people's freedoms are going to depend on how you decide to vote in this election. I saw something on social media the other day, and it really got me thinking. This is the post I saw, and it says, "Don't tell someone you love them and then vote for someone who will hurt them." Donald Trump is an extreme candidate for for the presidency, and he has an extreme agenda with Project 2025. Project 2025 was written by the Heritage Foundation, which has Christian nationalist leanings. If you don't know what Christian nationalism is, I encourage you to look into it, because some of the people who are proponents of Christian nationalism believe that people like me, people in the LGBTQ community, deserve to be unalived just for who we are and for who we love. Those are the people that wrote Project 2025. Those are the type of people that wrote it. 140 of the people who contributed to Project 2025 were people who served in Donald Trump's previous administration. And since Project 2025 has become more known, I know that Donald Trump has said that he has nothing to do with it. He doesn't know what's in it, but that is a bunch of BS. Donald Trump knows all of the people who participated in Project 2025, and he hand selected a vice presidential candidate in JD Vance, who actually wrote the foreword to the president of the Heritage Foundation's book. He wrote the foreword to his book. And JD Vance has actually espoused several of the ideas that are contained within Project 2025. Project 2025 is going to undermine many of the hard fought freedoms that people in the LGBTQ community, that women, that LGBTQ men and women around this country have fought and put their blood, sweat, and tears into earning for our community. And it's not something that we should give up without a fight. If you love anybody in the LGBTQ community, or anyone who is a woman, anyone who believes in science, you should definitely vote for the candidate who's going to protect our rights and is going to be a candidate that embraces science and the LGBTQ community, and that vote would be for Kamala Harris. Project 2025 calls for the elimination of any kind of verbiage within previously passed laws and regulations that would provide protections to anyone based on gender, gender identity, sexual orientation. It also calls for allowing companies to exercise what they refer to as their freedom of speech to discriminate when it comes to employment of LGBTQ individuals. It also calls for prioritizing the heterosexual two-parent family as the ideal when it comes to raising children, meaning that they're going to have an agenda that is going to undermine LGBTQ couples' ability to start families. It's going to make it harder for us to provide loving homes to children that are awaiting adoptive families. It's going to make it harder for us to access things like IVF. And these are just horrible, horrible ideas that serve as nothing more than ugly policies to hurt people and to basically make us second class citizens once again, when we have fought, and people before us have fought so hard for the rights and privileges that we now have. Um, Not to mention the fact that if Donald Trump is elected for a second time, he's going to have the opportunity to put one to two more people on the Supreme Court. He already has been able to pack the Supreme Court with three additional conservative justices who already undermined women's health and took away the right for a woman to make decisions about her own body. But he'll have the opportunity to put possibly up to two more justices on the court. And Justice Clarence Thomas has already said, after they overturned Roe v. Wade, he literally has said in written statements that they need to reconsider the decision that they made in the case that provided same sex couples the ability to marry. That is scary. One of the happiest days of my life was the day that my husband and I were able to declare our love to each other in front of a judge and be married. And I can't imagine a world where that is not possible. And I know I have loved ones in my own family who are possibly on the fence and trying to decide who they're going to vote for, and they maybe are torn right now. And I am begging all of those people to please consider voting differently than maybe you have in the past and vote for Kamala Harris. There's a lot of other really awful things in Project 2025, and I really encourage you to familiarize yourself with some of that. But that's really all I'm going to mention in this video. But when you get out there and vote this election, if you're early voting, that's great. If you're voting on election day, that's great too. But when you get out there and vote, I'm asking you to please keep this in mind whenever you make your decision. Don't tell someone you love them and then vote for someone that will hurt them, because Donald Trump's Project 2025 agenda is going to hurt a lot of people if he is allowed back in the Oval Office and allowed to enact this extreme agenda. There's so much to learn about Project 2025 that is definitely out of the mainstream. But please keep this in mind if you have anybody in the LGBTQ community who you care about and love. If you are someone else who is going to be negatively impacted by the Project 2025 agenda, I encourage you to repost this video, to like it, to follow my TikTok here. Stitch this video, make your own video talking about how Project 2025 is going to negatively impact you. Tag your family members or send it to your family members if you don't want to tag them. But get the message to them so that they know that you too will be negatively impacted by this. But anyway, let's all get out there and vote this election. Let's vote for the candidate who's going to protect our rights and privileges that we fought so hard to earn, not someone who is going to tear them down. Let's get out there and vote. Let's elect Kamala Harris, our first female president. Let's have a blue wave this election cycle in Texas, in all of the swing states, all across this country. Let's help her win by a landslide. Thanks for watching. Please like and follow. Have a great night, everyone.